So first of all, apologies for not getting this video out sooner. The moment the Xfinity race ended, I had some dinner and then I immediately went to sleep because I was tired as hell from this past few days of recording, which is why I haven't really recorded any videos anyways this past few days. Just decided to take a break after all the Daytona 500 madness that happened. But anyways, this video was supposed to come out last night, but since I went to sleep immediately, I wasn't able to record it properly. The recording was kind of sloppy, so that's why I'm doing a take 2 on this video. So anyways, with that out of the way, Ty Gibbs is the truth. Title of the video is self-explanatory. There's not much else to say here, aside from that a new star has arrived and the future of NASCAR is bright. We see a lot of great young stars nowadays, like Ty Gibbs, Sam Mayer, if you want to put it like that. Those are the main 2 stars right now that we're gonna see on the rise in the next 5 years, and I am really excited to see what these 2 guys will be able to do. Of course, we already know what Sam Mayer is going to do. He's going full-time in Xfinity next season. But we're gonna talk about Ty Gibbs because, oh my God, what a race did he put up last night. That Daytona road course race was just amazing. It was a complete 180 from the whatever the truck series was on Friday. But yeah, Saturday night's race was really amazing. Of course, the moment Cindric and Allmendinger spun out in stage 1, that was the biggest moment, basically, of one of the biggest moments of the entire race, basically. When the race started, it was basically Cindric and Allmendinger battling, running 1-2 for all of stage 1. Eventually, Allmendinger was able to get by Cindric in the closing laps, but that Cindric got a run on him, coming to the checker flag. Allmendinger went down to block, and Cindric, of course, he still tried to pass him. Of course, the 2 collided, and Allmendinger spun around, and Cindric had some right front damage that he had to get his car repaired on pit road. That put both of them way far in the back for stage 2. Now, of course, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter going back and forth. Some people saying it's Cindric's fault, some people saying it's Allmendinger's fault. My take on that, it's 50-50. Both drivers are at fault. You can say that Cindric, it was just for stage 1, so you can say that Cindric, he had no need to push the issue if Allmendinger was gonna drive him aggressively. He should have just let him go and let him have the stage win, because at the end of the day, risking it all for a stage win and ruining the rest of your race, in my opinion, that's just not the way to go. I know you gotta race aggressively, and I approve of that. I believe that you have to race aggressively in order to win. However, I'm also a believer that you have to pick and choose your spots wisely. You don't want to be running and tearing up your equipment at the end just for the end of the first stage. That's not how stuff works, because then you're gonna be scratching and clawing your way to get back to the front, and something may happen to your car, like it happened to Allmendinger. A mechanical issue happened to him in stage 2 that put him in the garage for basically the entirety of the stage, and by the time he came out of pit road, by the time he came out of the garage, he was like 13 laps down, I believe. I don't know where he finished, but I believe he finished around 35th because not many cars DNF'd. But yeah, in my opinion, the accident, it was 50-50 on both drivers. Cindric, of course, Cindric should have let Allmendinger go. But on the other hand, Allmendinger shouldn't have blocked Cindric too aggressively. Cindric was already he already got into his inside, so what Allmendinger should have done is just let him have the lane and just race side by side, to the line instead of just bumping and banging or trying to block him or trying to block him down to the grass, run him out of racing room, because then you're just poking the bear, especially if you're a driver as aggressive as Cindric that is not going to leave anything on the track. If you race him aggressively, he's gonna race you aggressively right back. He's one of those Joey Logano type of drivers that leaves everything on the track. And I like that about Cindric. I know there was a bit of criticism. I know I was a bit critical of him because he was like over driving his equipment early on in the races, and he occasionally reverts to those old habits because we gotta remember, the guy may have an Xfinity Series championship, but he's only 23 years old. So I mean, he still has a long career ahead of him. Let's give him some time, guys. Anyways, with Cindric and Allmendinger out for stage 2, the race was going to be a crapshoot. Was expected to be a crapshoot, and for parts of the race it was. But oh my lord, Ty Gibbs just stole the freaking show. Stage 2 was all Ty Gibbs, man. He basically dominated stage 2. The moment he took the lead from, I believe that was Harrison Burton, he didn't look back and he won stage 2. And then stage 3 happened. By that time, Cindric has already clawed his way back to the front. And him and Ty Gibbs were actually in the closing laps. Him and Ty Gibbs were running 1-2, which gave me 2014 flashbacks of the 22 and the 54 racing for the winning in 2014. Of course, now the 22 and the 54 were running 1-2, and they finished 1-2. Of course, with different drivers now. Cindric being the son of Team Cindric, the president of Team Penske, and Ty Gibbs being the grandson of Joe Gibbs. Future's bright, I gotta tell you. The future of NASCAR is bright. But yeah, a late caution came up that set up an overtime restart. And for a while, I really panicked because I really thought that this was gonna be like a triple overtime slugfest like it was in the Truck Series. Because you gotta remember, just like in the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series didn't have any practice or qualifying, which is why a lot of drivers had mechanical issues. Noah Gragson had one early on in the race. Natalie Decker, actually, who was making her Xfinity debut today, she didn't even last 3 laps before spinning out the car, and then had to drop out the race because I believe there was oil leaking down from the car. Yeah, that was a mechanical failure. Even though her DNF, she's gonna be shown like a DVP DNF on Racing Reference. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but yeah, it was rough. If we had practice or qualifying, these young drivers, maybe they wouldn't be struggling a lot. Of course, Ty Gibbs was actually expected to struggle a bit and finish in a top 10 in this race, but man, we all didn't know how good he was. We were all sleeping on him. Because the thing about Ty Gibbs is, he did good in the ARCA race, but this is like, what? This is his first National Series start. Like, he hasn't made any Truck Series starts that I know of. No, I don't think he has made any Truck Series starts. Xfinity, this is his Xfinity debut, so yeah, he's run this race before at ARCA, the road course layout once, and he finished second. But of course, ARCA is not the same as NASCAR, National Series race. So we expected him to struggle, get a feel for the car, especially with no practice or qualifying. But man, the moment Cindric and Allmendinger took each other out, he just stole the show, man. And even when Cindric came back and took the lead from him, he gave him a battle. He gave him the business. Cindric had to run him out of the track like 3 times in order to hold him off. That's just how fast Ty Gibbs was. Now, of course, you can attribute this to the fact that Cindric was driving an injured race car due to the due to the accident with Allmendinger. He already had an injured race car. I am of the opinion that if Cindric had kept his car clean the whole race, he would have run away with it. But Ty Gibbs, man, he still did a great job. I gotta tip my hat off to that. That is in no way I am discrediting his performance, because even with an injured race car, Cindric was fast and he still came away with the most laps led. So that counts for something. So yeah, of course, back to the overtime restart. Ryan Sieg was leading the race, and for parts of this race I thought that Ryan Sieg maybe will run away with this, and then he choked, and then the madness began. And in the midst of all of this madness, Ty Gibbs, who was running around, he was running like 9th, I believe. I don't know where Ty Gibbs was restarting, but I know he went all the way up to 3rd. But then the scoring order, when the caution came out, he was actually 5th on the restart, but he had made it all his way up to 3rd. But he restarted 5th. When the caution came out, he was shuffled back to 5th. At the moment the caution came out, he was 5th. There was some weird stuff there, but that was an amazing restart by Ty Gibbs. And then on the second overtime restart, Ty Gibbs just made one of the most badass moves in NASCAR. The most badass move I've ever seen since Chase Elliott at Darlington in 2014, to where he went from 6th to 1st in one lap on a restart. Yeah, Ty Gibbs just made a Chase Elliott 2014, and he passed and he went from 5th to 1st in just the first couple of turns. He just took the lead right away, and I just couldn't believe what I was witnessing. What I saw, I remember that 2014 Chase Elliott race, the Darlington race that Chase Elliott won. Of course, that was also an Xfinity race. That same feeling I had when Chase Elliott pulled off that move, that was the same feeling I felt when Ty Gibbs got the lead for the final time at the Daytona Road Course. That winning pass, that restart, oh my gosh, that restart was amazing. Ty Gibbs is a future superstar. He is the truth, and I'm just speechless, man. I got nothing else to say.